Hello, everybody. Um, Welcome to Live with Joan, but with Claudia today. I'm going to give it a minute and wait for people to join. I hope I'm in the right place. I should know where I am. This is weird for me to be on this side of the camera in Joan's chair. So let's see if you're coming on. Please introduce yourself, say hi. And if I don't know who you are already, tell me where you are. Hi, Tanya. Good morning. All right. Okay, my name is Claudia Goodman, and a lot of you either know me from being the voice behind the camera when Joan does the Facebook Lives, or you've spoken to me on the phone. Hi, Leslie. And Today I am filling in for Joan. She's in a meeting it's a big deal, and I'm not going to say anything about it until it comes through. It's going to be a very big deal for the school, so we're going to leave it there. So I'm filling in for her today, and I want to welcome everybody. Hi, Lori from Michigan. I know you're from Michigan. Um, Jackie Salazar. Hi, Jackie. And Joyce Lee Leggett. Hi, Joyce. Sorry, I have to go like this, even though I'm wearing glasses. Apparently, I need like 5 different prescriptions. Anyway, so my name is Claudia Goodman. I am the head of outreach for communication with All Life University. I work with Joan. I've been working with Joan for 6 years. I'm also a graduate of the program, certified animal communicator and energy healer through Joan's program that she developed for CWALU. And I'm a teacher in the school as well. So I met Joan, and I pretty much just, after a while, said, "You're never getting rid of me." So I burrowed my way into the school, and good luck getting me out. So let me see who else is here. Terry Ann McGrath. Good morning, Terry Ann. Barbara Campbell. Hi, Barbara from Boise. I spoke to Barbara. Claire Trost. Hello, Claire. It's been a while. Okay, can everybody hear me okay? I am using my laptop, so I'm not using a mic right now. Okay. Um, Perfect. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit today about what going through the animal communication and energy healing coaching, the animal mastery program, as we call it, has done for me, and in turn, my work with animals. Okay, great. Sorry, just saw Tanya's comment. And I just wanted to share my story a little bit with you. And a lot of you have heard my story of how I got started and why I got started, and how it took the universal 2x4 to hit me over the head with a situation with my own animals to get me into the school. But I really wanted to just talk about how I shifted as a person, and how I shifted as a person. That was Joan whispering. She had a break from her meeting. I just wanted to talk about how I shifted as a person in the program. Before Tanya, I'm about to share something that's probably going to make you laugh out loud. So I'm just hearing you laugh, and I'm trying not to lose it. But before I started the school, before I started learning with Joan, um, my husband used to make fun of me because I was that animal lover that it didn't even have to. I had the need to hold and hug and squeeze every animal. So my husband used to laugh and say, "Oh my God, you are, I want to hug it and squeeze it and call him George." That character from Bugs Bunny. And I looked him up, and it was the abominable, I can never pronounce that word. Anyway, the snowman from Bugs Bunny. I don't know, I'm probably dating myself, but many of you might remember that "I want to hug him and squeeze him and call him George and make him mine." That was me, regardless of whether or not the animal wanted me to or not. It was a need that I needed, that I had to hold them and show them how much I loved them. And I mean, pretty recently, I started going through the program in 2018, and it took well into being in the school for me to realize how much my energy was truly affecting animals, and how it was actually sabotaging what I was trying to do for these animals. I had fostered animals, I had worked in rescue, I was a photographer which was probably the best thing I did for the animal, was when I was a photographer, because I had to make myself so small as a photographer to be able to capture the animal for rescues and shelters, to get them adopted. That was really a very, I couldn't go and hug them and take a picture of them. So enter the fall intensive 2018, which is when I started the school. I signed up only for the fall intensive. I didn't know if this is what I wanted to do. I mean, I knew I wanted to work with animals my whole life, but I didn't know if this was the right fit for me, or more importantly, if I was the right fit for this work. And did the fall intensive. And the fall intensive is three-day workshops. It's animal communication, animal communication, death, dying, and beyond, and then energy healing. And one of the things that I picked up through the whole intensive was holding space, really listening, and really being aware of your energy in every single aspect of the work. And I was hooked. I didn't even make it into the second workshop before I signed up for the whole thing. I was like, I'm in, Kit, just sign me up for everything. I don't care. I'll figure it out. Just I want to be a part of this. So I did the fall intensive, which, by the way, we have the fall intensive coming up right now, October 4th through the 12th, and we still have space available. So reach out if you want some information on it. Tanya's going to put the link into the fall intensive if you're interested. So I did the fall intensive, and then a couple of weeks later, I started with Animal Communication Level 1, which this year starts October 23rd. And I just started doing one step at a time, Animal Communication Level 1. And then at the time, we didn't call it Level 2 and 3. We just called it Beginning and Advanced Animal Communication. So I had gone through medical intuition and behavior and dynamics part, and then I was doing energy healing for animals when the fires hit in 2019. I've been in the program for a year. The fires hit, and Joan and I, because we're so close to the Gentle Barn, and I actually met Joan because of Ellie at the Gentle Barn, we ran over there and started to help. I remember very specifically, you can only imagine, everybody's evacuating animals. There is literally a fire across the street, covered in smoke. You could barely see, you're coughing. Animals are frantic because not only are they freaking out about the smoke and the fire, but they're also freaking out about everybody else's energy up here, right? We got to get these animals out. So I remember walking and I saw one of the workers who I've known for a really long time, Aldo. They were trying to get, I think it was Addison the donkey. They were trying to get him on the trailer. It was one of the donkeys, and they weren't budging. And I just remember walking up and bringing my energy in really, really small, and just taking a deep breath. And I put my hand on his rump, and I just sent him the picture of him getting in the trailer. And I just said, "We're trying to help you." And he walked right in the trailer. And I just went, like, that was one of those moments where I went, "Oh, shit, this works." And I remember Aldo going, "How did you do that?" And I just kept going, and I just rolled up my sleeves and got in there, put that aside of being this animal lover, that I want to hug and squeeze all the animals, and just really helped do what needed to be done. And then I think it was the next day, they had moved the animals to another location, and we were there trying to wrangle the animals in because it was a safe location, but it was unknown to them. And we had created a human circle, and Joan always tells this story. We had created a human circle herding these sheep into this barn, and one of the sheep decided to jump up and try to fly between us. And I remember I didn't even think, I just reacted, and I caught a flying sheep. And I remember Joan saying that night, "You graduated from the program because you've officially become an animal person versus an animal lover." And I didn't get it at the time, right? I'm like, it's the same thing. Animal lover, animal person, it's the same thing. But now I understand. So go through the program, do medical intuition again, Animal Communication Level 3 again, which is behavior and dynamics. And I did the energy healing again, and did the spring intensive. So by now, I've really been doing this. I've had my case studies. I've been communicating with animals. And it still feels surreal to me that I've learned how to do this. It still feels like I pinch myself every day going, I can't believe I get to do this every day. But the interesting thing is, I was never really able to do it with my own animals because I had this block, this thing around my own animals. And I started applying it at home, and I've started to see a huge shift in my household. My husband started to notice, and I know a lot of you know the story that my husband, when I first started, and I would tell people what I was doing, he'd say, "Please don't tell my friends you're doing this. You sound like a nut job." And now he tells everybody I do this for a living, and he recommends me to people. So back in May of this year, I was driving down the road, and I've told this story before, but it does pertain to this. I was driving down the road, and I saw this little fluffy dog in the middle of a very busy canyon in Santa Clarita Sierra Highway, really busy highway. It, I remember there was a big rig behind me, and there were cars flying, and each side is a 2-lane road with a divider, and she's just sitting in the middle. And I pulled over, jumped out of my car, and she ran into this tow truck parking lot, and she would not let me near her. I mean, this little dog was freaking out, barking at me, showing her teeth, hiding under cars, just absolutely terrified. And I thought to myself, I'm either going to help her and catch her and get her out of this dangerous situation, or I'm going to have to leave because my presence is going to be a danger to her and it's going to cause her to run into the middle of the street. So I was weighing those two things, and I was panicking because one wrong move and she's going to get run over. There's no stoplights on this part, and it's a curve. So cars are coming, little dog runs out, she's done. And I just remember going, wait, what do you do for a living, Claudia? You know how to do this. So I put all my stuff down. I sat down. I got really quiet. And I just sent her pictures of safety and just said, I'm going to help you. You will be safe. And one of the guys that worked there got me some chicken that he had for lunch, which I thought was very sweet. And I was throwing at her, and she would not even look at it. She would not look at the chicken. She just was running from me. I got really quiet, brought my energy in, and just communicated with her. I'm just trying to help you. You will be safe. You will be warm. You will be fed. You will be taken care of if you just let me come near you. I had been trying to catch her for 20 minutes. After I did that, within 5 minutes, she was in my arms. And she had actually rolled over on her back for me. And the guy standing there, he couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Still can't believe it. She's now my dog. For 30 days, I posted her everywhere. I held her as a stray, and no one claimed her. So she became my little girl, and her name is Trixie. So that was a huge moment for me where I went, literally, this work is so powerful in every aspect of what I do with animals, even with people. Learning to manage your energy, learning to hold space, learning to be grounded and aware and to listen is really powerful. And I never thought, and I say this all the time, I never thought that a course in animal communication and energy healing would lead to so much personal growth for me and in my relationships. So that's the story of Trixie. And then I have a little story about a little piggy that we adopted, but I just want to see if anybody has any questions. Oh, Elaine, hi. Good to see how, well, I'll get to see you at the fall intensive, hopefully. Okay. So that was Trixie. So throughout this whole time, I've had really powerful evidence that this stuff works. That learning this has been an incredible experience for myself, for those around me that are in my, that I have relationships with, but more importantly, the work that I'm able to do with animals. On Father's Day, my husband and I adopted 2 alpacas and 2 little potbelly pigs. And when we adopted them, they told us that the potbelly pigs, one was kind of okay around people, the other one was absolutely not okay. She was very, very skittish, beyond skittish. Like, she could hurt herself running from people. Same thing with the alpacas. And the alpacas' names are Benedict and Ruprecht. And my piggies' name, I love their names. The piggies are Henrietta and Wilhelmina. Wilhelmina was the piggy that was absolutely terrified of human contact, of anyone. She barely even came up to us when we fed them. She would wait for us to put her food down and walk out, and then she would go for her food. And my husband and I really want to just give them a safe space and a loving home where they can live the rest of their lives and not worry about anything. And the same thing with the alpacas. Well, the other night, and my husband now has become that I want to hug him and squeeze him, and I make fun of him. I go, "You've turned into the old me. You need to, back off and let them come to you." And even if they never do, they never do, but we are providing a safe space for them, and I'm not expecting anything in return. And I remember one night we were saying goodnight to them, because we go back and say goodnight to them every night and give them little cookies and treats, not cookies. And I was sitting on the ground, and Wilhelmina was taking, by now they're taking treats from our hands, but she'll take the treat and run away. And I just sat there and I closed my eyes and I brought my energy in again, and I got really quiet, and I just said to her, I'm not expecting anything from you. I just want you to know that you get to be you. You get to be safe. You get to live your life however you want. I am here to provide that safe space and safe home for you. And my husband was sitting there watching. I wasn't saying this out loud. I was just in my head with my eyes closed. And I opened my eyes and she starts walking towards me. And I put my hand up and she put her little sweet little piggy nose up against my hand and did the, and then just kind of chilled and let me scratch her ears. I was about to have a Claudia moment, which Joan has said before. This is the old Claudia, when I would freak out about an animal, and I just kept bringing that energy in. Well, now she lets me give her belly rubs when she wants to. And every night she gets her cookies and she gets her nose scritches. I mean, her ear scritches and nose, she puts her little nose up against my hands. But I didn't do it because I wanted that. Yes, was that amazing? Oh my God, it's one of my favorite things to do every night before we go to bed. But I wanted her to know that I did not expect anything from her. And the same thing with the alpacas. And Rupert he's a young alpaca, and he is, you can't touch him. You really can't touch him. He will fly. I don't know if you've ever seen an alpaca buck, but oh my God, those things fly. He will come up and take treats from me. I did the same thing with him that night. And I just said, this is the deal. This is your life with us. We don't want anything from you. We just want you to be healthy, happy, and feel safe. And now he's coming up to me. And this morning I was looking through the gate and he came up and put his nose against mine, and I almost passed out, but that's beside the point. So that is how this work has helped me personally, and really making my dreams come true of being that animal person. I'm not afraid to set a boundary with an animal, like I did with that sheep when I caught him in midair, right? It was for his safety. I'm not afraid to help an animal in distress and not feel like I'm going to make them run out into the middle of the street, because I was able to do it with Trixie, and I can see that now, and I can work with shelter animals now, because animals are shut down when a lot of animals are shut down in the shelter, and it's not who they really are, or they're in such panic mode and fear mode or grief that they're not showing who they really are, and they're really shut down. So and I'm going to answer your question, Helen, about bringing the energy in, because that's what I do when I'm in those situations, right? But there's also another factor, and that's safety. I remember when I first started working with Joan, and I'd be around her horses, and she is very strict on safety for the person and for the animal, right? Because I'll give you an example. If I go up to a dog that I don't know, right, with a client, and let's say I'm in the dog's face and the dog bites me. Well, not only am I in danger, but that animal is in danger, right? Because what happens if there's an animal bite? It gets reported to the cops. What happens when it gets reported? The animal probably will, if it's the first offense, second offense, if it's the third offense, that's it. Game over. So safety is so important. And Joan taught me that. That's where those boundaries come in. And that's where the holding space comes in. And that's where bringing your energy comes in. And that's where I walk into a room, and if there's animals, I'm not going to go up and say hi to the animals. I'm going to let them come to me if they want. And I'm going to keep my distance, because I want to be safe for myself, and I want to be safe for the animal. So bringing your energy in, Helen, is I learned this actually, and the first time was in the fall intensive, which, like I said, is coming up. It's it's the way we teach it is through this exercise where you just kind the way I do it. Okay, I sit and I breathe and I visualize myself just getting calm and grounded and quiet and really, 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 really peaceful and small. And I just sit in that moment. And there is an experiment we do in the fall intensive that is with these energy rods that Joan has, and you could see the rods respond to the energy. And we also do a visualization of the aura, and you can see it, the size decrease. It's Listen, I didn't believe I could see it, even though I've done energy work my whole life. I've never been able to see auras. I did, and Joan teaches it in a way where she really helps you get there. And animals, that's all they feel is energy. They respond to energy. You are not going to get close to a horse if your energy is bigger than the horse, right? Um, I do this with my son. My son is 6 foot tall. He's loud. He stomps. His energy has always been very big. Trixie responds to his energy. She adores him, but she barks at him all the time when his energy is big. And I tell him she is the best meter for your energy, because when your energy is big, like he walks into a room and it's like, whoa, dude, just back off. He's 18. And she's teaching him how to manage his energy, because he realizes when he gets smaller and when he gets quiet, it's kind of like not feeling frazzled. You just kind of bring it in. I hope that explains it, because it's really hard to explain. Joan does a way better job of explaining it, and she teaches it during the fall intensive and throughout the whole path of this program. I hope that explained it. Let me know if it didn't. So, what has that done for me on a personal level? I've shared with you. I'm a much better animal guardian. Uh, I am more grounded with my animals. I'm able to help a stray animal. I used to have a really hard time catching strays. I don't, I'm not saying it's infallible. It's sometimes really hard to catch an animal, but you have to know not to chase them, that kind of stuff. Oh, good. I'm glad. Thanks, Helen. And but what else has this done for me? I am head of the outreach department. What is that? I am the person that deals with other schools or organizations that help animals. So whether it be a shelter, a sanctuary, wildlife center, a rescue. We have, we're working with the Animal School of Massage. So we're kind of like creating relationships across the board with different organizations that help animals. How is this helping me? Well, I lead the Animal Communication Level 4 class, which is helping shelters, sanctuaries, rescues, wildlife centers, and professional animal centers with animals that are having a challenging situation. I lead this on Zoom. They bring in an animal. We have a whole class connect with them and help them find out what's going on with that animal. And it's been very powerful. We've talked about Animal Communication Level 4 ad nauseum in this. And if you have any questions about it, I'd be more than happy to answer them. But the most powerful part is I'm able to now, with the tools I've learned through this program, I'm able to go into a hard place like a shelter and deal with hard situations and not let it take me down. And not only not let it take me down, that's the selfish part of it, right? I'm able to go in and do the work. And I know there's a lot of people on here that work with shelters and volunteer in shelters, and you know what I'm talking about, right? It takes a toll on you. And these tools have helped me get through it. But I'm also able to actually help that animal. And as a team, the work we have done through the Animal Ambassadorship course, which is the Animal Communication Level 4, and helping these rescue shelters, sanctuaries, has been pretty powerful. Um, Lori Jodar here, Lori, I'm going to call you out. She connected us with a rescue in Michigan, a shelter in Michigan, the Little Traverse Bay Humane Society. And I love them because they're so open to the work we're doing. And it's become a relationship where we are helping them with very challenging situations with animals, some that have been considered lost causes, lost, oh my goodness, lost causes, right? And what I mean by that is that every avenue has been exhausted and nothing is working for this animal. And then all of a sudden, we're able to connect with this animal and show and just translate what we're picking up on. And then they were, like a light bulb went off in the director's head of, oh my God, I'm going to try that. The dog got adopted. So this is not the only shelter we work with. We've worked with other shelters, and once we work with them, they want us to continue helping. That for me is a dream come true. I was that little 6-year-old that would bring stray dogs home, because I lived in the mountains in the La Crescenta area, Tahunga Canyon. And I remember my dad passed away when I was 8. My dad finally said, "You're not allowed to go beyond this point because every time you do on your bike, you end up coming home with a dog." Little did we know that was going to end up being my passion in my life. But this work is powerful, and having the right tools to do it makes it possible. And I don't know where I would be without this work. I mean, I look back, I actually saw the cartoon recently, and my husband and I were laughing. He's like, "That used to be you. You're not like that anymore." Okay, I'm still like that with my kids sometimes. That's different. Or with him, right? I get that cuteness aggression. I'm not going to lie. I get a lot of cuteness aggression, but I take it out on them and not the animals. So that there's that. But so that's what I wanted to share with you, because it's just, I tell Joan all the time, Joan, there's so many different levels where doing this program has helped me, and helped me make my dreams of working with animals come true, and help me help animals, and help me help people, and help me in my relationships with family members, with friends. I don't even know how to put into words how much this program has done for me, and which is why I love and I choose to be here and sit in front of you guys, which I hate being in front of a camera. I hate talking to people, even though I love teaching, but it's because I want to do for you what this work did for me, and help you make your dreams of working with animals come true. Lori said, "You and your team have saved an animal's life more than once, also changing behaviors so that a dog can finally find their forever home. My team loves you and also appreciates all of." Oh, thank you, Lori. Thank you. Um, you know, we were supposed to go to Michigan earlier this month, and I couldn't because of health issues. And it breaks my heart that I couldn't go and that we couldn't do it. But I look forward to the day I get to meet all of you and hug you and come into your shelter and work with you guys. But thank you, Lori. I love you guys too. So give my hug to the girls. So I'm here because I want to help everybody else get here. Joan's only one person, right? And all of us, Tanya and Leah and Kat and Becky and Val, we are here because we want to be a part of this, because we want to help other people go out there and do what they've always wanted to do. When I was growing up, I didn't know this existed. Oh my God, if I'd known this existed, God help me, right? But I do believe that things come to us when they're supposed to, and we walk through the doors when we're meant to walk through the doors. We do have a choice, and if we say no, the universe just keeps hitting us over the head until we either, realize that we're supposed to walk through that door, or it gets really ugly. That 2x4 turns into a 4x4, turns into a 6x8, turns into a log. So for me, thank God, I got the hint relatively on time. It did take me ending up in the emergency room with dog bites for me to understand I needed to do this work. But I'm here to be of service to all of you, and in turn be of service to animals, because the more of us that are out there doing this work, the more change we do, and the more we help animals. And right now, and Lori can attest to this, there is a crisis in the shelters like there hasn't been in a long time. I don't think ever. I remember I was so happy and excited during COVID because a lot of the shelters adopted animals out because people were home. Well, now it's turned into the complete opposite. And the amount of animals being surrendered or being abandoned is unbearable. It's really bad. And the people working the shelters are, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they show up day to day and do it. Well, I do know because I'm a big believer that my mission is stronger than my feelings. But you, can, it's we're not made of steel. It does affect us, and we need to lock arms, and we need to walk this together, and we need to do this work because it's not fair to them. We created this, so since we created this, we have the power to change it. So I'm asking those of you who are on the fence, who don't know if this is the right thing for you, who are curious about it, reach out. There's so many different ways. There's so many different things we can do as a community, as a people, to help animals. So if you are interested in anything to do with what we offer through this school, any of the programs, any of the classes, or the whole kit and caboodle, reach out to me. You can book a call with me. Tanya's gonna put my link in because I'm on screen, and you know I can multitask, but that's ridiculous. Book a call with me. Send an email in to outreach@joanranquet.com. That's my email address. Or you can reach out to Tanya, or you could put a comment here, or you can go to the website. There's so many different ways to get a hold of us, and we're here to help. We really are. We're here to be of service. This is our mission. I'll never forget Joan saying to me that if she won she won the lottery and she won millions of dollars, never had to worry about a dime in her life, she'd still be doing this work. So would I. There is nothing I would rather be doing than being part of this school helping animals, because I see the work and I see how it works. The work works, and everybody can learn this if this is something you want to do. So, oh, hi, Susie. Does anybody have any questions? I've talked a lot. I don't even know what time it is. It's 10:30. If anybody has any questions. Tanya, it's outreach. It put outlook@joanranquet.com. It's outreach. Okay, I'll let her fix that. But if anybody has any questions or anything, I want to remind you again of the dates. The fall intensive, you can come for all 3 workshops. You can come for 1 workshop, 2 workshops, whatever appeals to you, is October 4th through the 12th. So October 4th through the 6th is animal communication. 7th through, 4th, 5th, 6th. 7th, 8th, 9th is Death, Dying, and Beyond, which I need to say a little blurb about that. And then Energy Healing is 10th, 11th, and 12th. And sorry, I'm reading the comments. I hear you, Tanya. I do it all the time. The Death and Dying, I remember, again, I started with the fall intensive, and I remember almost not coming to that part of the workshop because it scared me to death. I've had a lot of grief in my life, and I didn't want to go there. I did not want to visit that. I didn't want to have anything to do with that. A lot of, I lost my father when I was very young. I've lost a lot of animals, and some in horrific situations. And I just didn't want anything to do with that. And I was having a lot of social anxiety about the whole being in with 30 people in person and people I didn't know, and all the doubts, all the am I going to be good enough? Who do I think I am being around all these amazing people? I'm such a fraud. All of the things that come up that we talked about during the doubting yourself. I showed up, and it ended up being one of my favorite ever workshops. I have never laughed so hard and cried so hard and felt so safe in a group of people that I didn't know. By the time I was done, I could still tell you that a lot of these people I never saw again, but I absolutely adore them because of what we went through during that workshop. So don't be afraid of the work. Don't be afraid to show up, because you're going to land in a soft landing, a safe space, and a very loving and compassionate and empathic space. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, just Susie and Tanya talking about the fingers. I know, typing and the fingers. Elaine, you are enrolled in the fall intensive, you should be getting some emails since you are in the Animal Mastery program. And I do want to point out the Animal Mastery program, the enrollment is closed, but there's ways to still get started to do the work. And then when we open enrollment again, you just go right in to the next step. And what I mean by that is, one thing that I do want to share is if you have signed up for a class and then you want to upgrade and do a certification, or not a certification, but if you want to do the animal ambassadorship or the animal communication path or the energy healing path or the animal mastery program coaching, the big program, you can, and we would deduct what you've already paid. I don't know if a lot of people know that. I am going to be posting a breakdown of all of it. Joan and I are working on a big, like, this is how it works, this is how it looks, for people who are curious. So stay tuned for that. But if you have any questions, Lori, thank you. Is the fall intensive online or in person? So hi, I'm assuming it's Shayna, yeah, Shayna, I'm hoping. If not, please correct me. The fall intensive is in person at Joan's Ranquet in Santa Clarita, California. However, if for some reason you can't come in person, we offer the equivalent workshops online through Zoom throughout the year. So if you look at the school calendar and you wanted to do the animal communication workshop and you can't come in person, we offer it, and it's in January, if I'm not mistaken. But the 9-day intensive, we have 2 intensives a year, which is the fall intensive and the spring intensive. And by the way, these hand gestures, I do them when I'm on the phone with someone. That's how I explain it to them. So the fall intensive and the spring intensive, each one of those 3 workshops for each, and so there's 6 total 3-day workshops, are offered as immersives throughout the year. So you can do that if that's an option. We didn't offer that before. There was a time when I first started, you can only come in person. And if you couldn't, oh well. And then COVID hit and we went virtually. And Joan had said, I always wanted to do virtual and in person. So we did that for a while. And it worked and it was great. But we realized it was taxing on the people online to have the people in person. It was like it was taking from everybody a little bit. So Joan said, why don't we just do in person and the other stuff, and then offer a virtual component? That way everybody gets equal attention, and the teachers can give their undivided attention to either the people in person or the people online. And it's been the best thing ever, and I absolutely love it. Oh, I said it right. Okay, good. So I'm just making sure we're not missing anything. So if you have any questions about the fall intensive or the immersives, just book a call with me. If you don't know where to start, if you don't know if this is the right path for you, book a call with me. You can book a call on the Calendly link. My calendar, if the dates available, if the dates that I have available don't work for you, email me and we can figure something out. I am here to help you. I am here to be of service to you and to help you get on your path to helping animals. All right. Does anybody have any last questions? And, Tanya is typing in here. I just want to talking about this community and how amazing it is. I hadn't met Tanya for years. Tanya joined the program right before COVID or right around COVID, if I'm not mistaken. And we hit it off and we became friends, and I absolutely adore her, and I hope she feels the same about me. And I remember it was when I moved back from Florida. I moved to Florida for less than 2 years. I moved back from Florida and I live near here. I was here in person, and Tanya came. I don't remember if it was for an intensive or for the Silva Scalar and Psychic Surgery in-person workshop. And I remember seeing Tanya and I got teary-eyed and I hugged her so hard, because even though we'd never met in person, there was that love and connection. So that is another bonus, right? I'm not one that makes a lot of good friends. I'm very outgoing and I'm very extroverted, but I'm an introvert underneath, and I like to stay in my cocoon. So meeting Middle of COVID. Yeah, Silva Scalar. Meeting the people that you spend time in class with and getting to know each other. It's just, this is an incredible community. And I just want you to know that our doors are always open and we embrace everyone. So that's it. Yes, Susie. Oh, Susie. Susie's another one. Susie. I can't even. How do you overcome your doubts about your abilities, Elaine? I was, I still have doubts. And the work, you just show up to class and you keep doing the work and you do, you just show up. That's the God honest truth. I just kept showing up in spite of my doubts, in spite of my feeling not good enough. I showed up to class even when I didn't want to, even when I thought I didn't do so great. I have all my case studies and all my before I got my iPad, where I now keep everything. I would walk around with like 5 different notebooks, right? I have all my notes from everything. And when I feel that doubt come up, which I still do, and now I'm just grateful to it because it reminds me to stay humble and reminds me that I'm not special. This work is special. I'm just doing the work. Um, when I have those doubts, I just remember these stories of where I was able to help an animal, um, where I was able to find a lost chicken for a friend of mine that had gone under her house and unfortunately passed away, but she got closure, where I was able to help a dog, a guide dog that was limping and the doctors couldn't figure out what was going on with his leg. It wasn't his leg. When I did the medical scan, I found it in his back, and she's a longtime client of mine now because of this, right? It's it's not me. I'm not special. Joan isn't the only one that can do this. I'm not the only one that can do this. Just show up to class, have an open heart, and have an open mind, and that's all. That's how you'll overcome the doubts. And little by little, you'll start to build the trust in yourself and believe in yourself. And that's usually AC level 1 is really more about that and learning the landscape of your own mind, and building that confidence so that you little by little start to go, oh wait, oh my God, I got that. Okay. Oh, I can get another thing. And it's practice. It's practice. Uh, what did Susie say? I love you both so much. Overcoming is helped with practice in EFT. That's exactly it. Yes, EFT is a big one. And I don't have enough time to go over my relationship with EFT, but all I can say, and a lot of you already know this, I hated EFT with a passion before I met Joan. With a passion. I knew EFT and I hated it. Or I knew about it. I didn't know EFT. And I'm now teach it. And it's one of my favorite modalities on the freaking planet. Even my kids ask me to do EFT with them. And my daughter, God help me, she keeps asking me to do it with her friends. And, I don't charge her college friends, and maybe I should. But anyway, she's like my agent now. But EFT is incredibly powerful. And here's the other part. How do you overcome those doubts? You have us. That's the bottom line. We're here to help you through it. We're here to hold your hand through your doubts, through your successes, through when you feel that you failed, but you really haven't. We're here to support you. That's the difference about doing this on your own, which I have no doubt people can do. I wouldn't want to do it on my own because I need this community, especially when we have those situations that are absolutely heartbreaking, that we need to process with someone who gets it. So we're here for you. So it's showing up, practice EFT, and you've got us. So there's that. All right. So I hope that this was helpful. I look forward to meeting some of you, if not all of you. Actually, I wish I could meet every single one of you. But I've learned that life can surprise you, and who knows? Maybe I'll show up in your town with Joan one day. Sorry, I'm reading the notes. So thank you all so much for putting up with me today and letting me fill in for Joan. It's very scary when she asked me to fill in for her because I always say no one can fill your shoes, but the truth is Joan gives you the tools to be able to do it. She really does. And she teaches us as teachers to do that for you. So that's why I love this program, and that's why I'm here talking about it ad nauseum. So, oh, thank you, Leslie. I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. And thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, you know where to go. Bye, everybody. Oh, hi. I'm trying to touch screen my laptop and it's not touch screen. I should know that. See, Tanya, you're not the only one. All right. Bye, everybody.